Hello and welcome to Zoo TV. I'm Anna Savchenko. I'm joined by Tayo Agbalaya and Camila Gaona Galvan, who are the President and Vice President of the Student Government Association, for a special interview. Thank you both for being here today.
Yeah.
Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
I'm Tayo Agbalaya. I'm a senior student body president, systems engineering major, computer science and mathematics minor. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Camila. I'm a communication studies major and I'm really excited to be here today.
Wonderful, let's start. So can you tell me about the Student Government Association? What are some of its functions on campus?
Yeah. So Student Government Association, its primary function is to advocate on behalf of the needs of the student body. So our function is basically to do exactly that. Whatever students need, we are a resource to. So if a student fell on Kruger Walk, injured their elbow, didn't know where to go, someone from SGA can walk them over to the health center. If someone's struggling in class and they want to get a better grade, they don't know how, if they see me, see Camila or any other of our officers, walk them over to the Undergraduate Success Center. Or something that I worked with my sophomore year being an SGA, if students need more library hours, working with the Vice Provost of the university to extend hours of the library times, whatever students need, we are a resource to do that, simply because we have the ability to meet with administrators. I have the ability to meet with the president of the university. So that's why our function is to basically help and advocate in whatever way students need it.
So rewinding a little bit to last year, what initially made you want to run for your respective positions?
I got the opportunity to be in SGA when I was a freshman, and I saw the way SGA functioned and ran, and I loved it, and I knew I wanted to be able to do it again. That's where Tayo and I actually met, and as last year came along, he had expressed his desire to be president of the student body, and as I thought and prayed a lot about it, I realized that I had a huge desire to also advocate on behalf of the student body, and would have loved to be able to guide the team that we get to guide together.
What about you?
Yeah, and for myself, my freshman year being in SGA, I thought about the position, and it was always something that I was like, you know what, maybe one day I'd think about it. Throughout the years, kind of teetered every once in a while, and then my sophomore year, wasn't going to do it. Finally, junior year, after praying about it and thinking about what my next year would look like, I saw no reason for me not to run. Talked with friends about it and asked them for their advice. And the signs that I was getting from the Lord, signs I was getting from friends was just, yeah, you should run for it. And so I did. Now I'm sitting in a Zoo News interview, so.
Do you guys recall how you felt when you found out that you were elected?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was it like?
I felt like I couldn't breathe. I think I smiled for probably an entire hour. I called my mom, but I was very excited.
And same here. Like, I remember refreshing my email a few times just to see, like, okay, when is the email going to come in to see the results of the election? And after I won, it was just surreal. Like, I know I was excited, but in all honesty, I don't even remember how I was feeling after, because it was just like, wow, like, this is finally happening. This finally happened. So it was amazing nonetheless. So.
In preparation for this academic year, what were some of the projects that you worked on, or some of the goals that you set for SGA?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that we as an SGA team have come up with this year is the concept of harmony and what it means to live in harmony amongst ourselves and amongst the student body. In preparation for the year and thinking about the word harmony, I had to look it up on Google because I'm not musically minded, but the concept of multiple notes playing differently but all coming together to make a melodious sound. When I think about the student body, that's what I think of. We all are super different from each other. We all have super different talents and strengths, but what would it look like for us to function in our different capacities to make APU an amazing place? So that is one of the major things that we're working on over the summer, thinking about how are we going to actually enact that.
So we're a little bit more than halfway into the semester now. Do you feel like you guys have come closer to accomplishing that goal?
Yeah.
Yes, I would say so. We get the opportunity to work alongside 8 freshman students that are a part of the House of Representatives, and we have seen how our team has lived out harmony, and because we are a group of 25 students, so it does require all of us to fulfill our roles and parts, and so we get to all do our own roles, but then at the end of the day we all come together to fulfill one major goal. So yes.
Rewinding a little bit back to last year again, it was a pretty difficult year for our university, and as the representative of the student body, what are some of the things that you have done to make this year a little bit easier for students?
Yeah, so over summer I got the opportunity to come back and meet with, I think, over 60 administrators. So came back June 24th, and have been here since then. So in those meetings, the one major thing that came up constantly was communication. I think that students just want to know, regardless of whether it's good news, bad news, anything in between. The main thing that I was able to talk with administration about was, students just want to know whatever's going on. So whatever's going on, students want to know. And I think that when you're open and when you're willing to just give communication in general, I think that it's better received by the students. And I think that we as a student body then have the opportunity to create a response to that. But it's not just helter-skelter. So communication is a big aspect. I think another thing to create like a better environment for the student body was talking with specifically Sheena Simons. She has like such a big heart for students, but sitting down and thinking through like, what do students actually want? What do students actually want to hear from us? How do we better engage with them? Camila and I have had opportunities to sit in a meeting called the Mosaic Caucus, which is a group of ethnic org presidents, myself, and then our very own multicultural senator. So in those meetings, we have the opportunity to meet with the Vice President for Diversity, Keith Hall, and then the Director of the SCRD, Aaron Hanahosa. And then we also get to meet with President Ferguson. So in all of these conversations, it's not one thing that is just like, oh yes, we'll do this one thing to make our year better. It's a continual process, continual communication, continually reaching out to each other, letting them know the needs of the student body, and then receiving information from them and trying to figure out like, okay, how do we make this year just as amazing as it can get? So,
in terms of communication, what are some of the concrete strategies that you have implemented to improve communication between the student body and higher administration and school officials?
So are you talking about communication top down or communication from students up?
Both ways.
Both
because
ways.
I think they're both equally as important.
Yeah, I agree with you. So one of the concrete ways that I think that I've been trying to disperse communication is once a month I get a meeting with President Ferguson. I get a bi-weekly meeting with Sheena Simons, and then anything else other than that is just like scheduled. So after I have those meetings, the moment after I'm done, I take my notes, I present them to the executive team within SGA, and then after that, we talk about how are we going to actually like make something happen with this instead of it just remaining some scribbles on my paper. And then after that, go to the SGA meetings and I talk to our entire team about it. And then after that, starts with word of mouth. So talking with my roommates back at home about, oh yeah, heard this is happening. What are your thoughts on this? It's word of mouth and then talking with the team.
So tell me a few ways that SGA is currently trying to improve campus life and fostering community within the student body.
Well, we have our spiritual life senator who is working alongside with her representative, and she gets to be a part of working alongside corporate worship and the discipleship offices, and they have a big heart and big goal to get all student leaders to get together, and hopefully this is something that we can have happen possibly next semester, but her goal is to unite all student leaders so then we can also unite all of the student body, and just realizing that we're all students and that as much as we are in these positions, we all go to classes still, we all have midterms and papers to write, and at the end of the day, as students, we relate to all students no matter what. And so our biggest hope is to be able to communicate that with the student body. And as SGA, every Wednesday we have something called Hangout Time, which is where we give out donuts right after chapel. And it's not just a time for students to get to know who SGA is or what we do, but also for us to be able to engage. And even students that come up and grab donuts even get to meet each other as they're grabbing a donut. They're like, oh, hey, you're in my class. Or, and yes, just continuing to create environments and spaces where students can interact with each other and remember that at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah. So one of SJA's core values is engagement. Can you talk a little bit about what that means to you and how you're trying to promote that, I guess, in our community?
I think that Tayo touched on something so important, that he goes at home at the end of the day and gets to talk to his roommates about what we do. And it's the same way for the rest of the team. There's 25 of us, and the reality is that all 25 of us have different friend groups or are in different majors, and we get to share with each other what it is that we do in the same manner that other things spread on campus. We share it with the friends, and we talk about the things that we're passionate about. So that's like one huge way that we do it.
What are some of the hardships that come with the job? I mean, I get they're always the good parts, but what are some of the difficulties that you sometimes have to overcome?
I think the hardest thing, and I know if there are any seniors watching, they can relate to this, time management and prioritizing. When you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to another thing. The reality is I have to work 20 hours a week in SJ. I get to work it, love coming in, talking with the team. So that's 20 hours there. And then I'm a systems engineering major. So that's not, it's not like work that can just be done really quickly and turn it in. One negative sign, if I get one negative sign wrong, the entire project can just be destroyed. And then in computer science, one semicolon can destroy your entire project. So taking the time to like actually do homework and taking the time to rest and taking the time to feed myself instead of just grabbing a protein bar from Pause and Go, like those are the challenges that come along with the job. There hasn't been necessarily anything where it's like, wow, this is bad stuff coming my way. It's like, there's so much good stuff and I just want to do all of it. But then having to say no because I actually need to sleep or I need to rest or I need to spend time with some friends, saying no has been the hardest challenge.
What about your favorite parts of the job?
Getting to interact with not only our student government association, but with students. And I get the opportunity to guide the 8 senators that we have, and getting to know each of them. I get to meet with each of them bi-weekly and getting to sit with them for an hour and hearing about the projects that they're working on and about their lives. And some of these people I probably wouldn't have met if I wasn't on SGA. So that's probably one of my favorite parts.
As we conclude here, is there anything that you would like to leave the APU community with? Any message?
Yeah, I think the last thing I'd want to leave the APU community with is that SGA wants to know and be known. When we say, hey, come into the office, like we seriously mean, hey, come into the office. We have designated snacks, we have coffee, we have cards, we have a comfy couch. All of this is not for us, it's for the student body. And so when we say we want to know and be known, it's not something that we just have in our mission statement. It's something that we truly mean. And so if there are any students watching this, like please come on by the office. I'm always there on my computer, but when I see a student come in, I set it down super quickly because I want to get to engage with them. So we want to know you guys and be known by you guys, so come on in. That's my little message.
Tayo Agbalaya and Camila Gaona Galvan, President and Vice President of the Student Government Association. Thank you so much for taking the time and sitting down with me today and coming in for the interview. Thank you for watching Zoo TV. I'm Anna Savchenko. Stay connected with breaking news and the latest updates by following Zoo Media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and by visiting our website, zoonews.com.